A doctor, not a doctor like Dr. Jill, but an internal medicine doctor who was born in the United States, recently received a letter from the State Department telling him that his citizenship has been revoked. When you get into the specifics of the story, though, you realize that the conclusion is correct. But more importantly, those same specifics destroy the left's anchor baby narrative that a baby born on U.S. soil makes it automatically a U.S. citizen, when nothing is further from the truth. Let's get into it. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So before we get into this, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell so that you never miss out on the truth that the mainstream media tries to bury. This story is about a doctor from North Virginia, Siavash Sobhani, whose world was turned upside down when he was told that his U.S. citizenship had been revoked. The Washington Post reports that Sobhani was in shock after a State Department official dropped this bombshell on him. But folks, it's not just a bureaucratic mess up. Oh, no, not at all. It's a glaring example of how the 14th Amendment, the so-called anchor baby clause of the 14th Amendment, has been twisted and turned by Democrats for their own agenda. You see, the Democrats have been peddling the narrative that if a foreigner has a baby on U.S. soil, that baby is automatically an American citizen. But that's just a big fat lie. The author of this clause himself said so in the U.S. Senate. Yet nobody seems to have bothered to look up history. So back to our doctor. Sobhani, a 61-year-old internal medicine specialist, was applying for a new passport. He had gotten them in the past with no problems. But instead of a passport, he got a letter saying he was never supposed to be a citizen in the first place because his father was a diplomat from Iran. Now, here's the thing. I've watched his videos. He has a video up. It's not like he has a channel, but there's a video of him where he talks about him moving to become a concierge doctor instead because medicine has changed over the last 5 years. He seems like a really nice guy, right? Be that as it may. I mean, I'm just sorry. The law's not on his side. He can apply for citizenship, but they revoked it, and I think they were right. Let's get into why. The letter said, as such, you were born not subject to the jurisdiction of the United States. Therefore, you did not acquire U.S. citizenship at birth. Now, this subject of the jurisdiction thereof part is what the left always conveniently ignores. It means to be a citizen at birth, at least one of the parents needs to be a legal U.S. citizen. If not, you're under the jurisdiction of a foreign country. It's as simple as that, folks. But even more, folks, if one of your parents was a U.S. citizen, but you were under diplomatic immunity because of your other parent, that means that you are subject to the jurisdiction not of the United States, but of another country. And we'll get into that in a minute. Now, this rule applies to everyone. The left, the Democrats, tried to trash Ted Cruz, saying he was born in Canada, he's not a citizen. But actually, Ted Cruz is a citizen because his mother was a U.S. citizen when he was born. Therefore, he is one too. The same thing happened to Senator John McCain, who was born in Panama, U.S. citizen parents. They were there because his father was in the Navy. And before you ask, yes, this even applies to Barack Obama. I'm not a fan of the former president, and I was never a member of the birther movement because facts are facts. Obama was born in Kenya, as his grandmother, Nana Sarah, stated to the press. A lot of people forget about that. But Barack's mother was a U.S. citizen. So by law, he's a citizen. It's as simple as that. Here's where it all starts. Senator Jacob M. Howard, the man behind the anchor baby clause, he made it clear. Being born in the U.S. to foreign diplomats doesn't make you a citizen. Why would the U.S. allow foreigners to have babies here and then let them stay indefinitely? It doesn't make any sense, because that means that the foreign parents would also be able to stay here indefinitely because they got to raise the kid. Right? All right. So here's where we destroy the left's narrative. This is what Senator Howard actually said in the well of the Senate just before the anchor baby clause of the 14th Amendment was going to be put up for a vote. Now, it's not called the anchor baby clause. I just use that term because that's what everybody knows it by. Here's what he said. I now move to take up House Joint Resolution number 127, The motion was agreed to, and the Senate, as in committee of the whole, resumed the consideration of the joint resolution proposing an amendment to the Constitution of the United States. Here's where it gets interesting. The First Amendment is to Section 1, declaring that all persons born in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the states wherein they reside. I do not propose to say anything on that subject, except that the question of citizenship has been fully discussed in this body as not to need any further elucidation, in my opinion. This amendment, which I have offered, simply declaratory of what I regard as the law of the land already, that every person born within the limits of the United States and subject to the jurisdiction is by virtue of natural law and national law a citizen of the United States. This will not, of course, include persons born in the United States who are foreigners, aliens, who belong to the families of ambassadors or foreign ministers accredited to the government of the United States, but will include every other class of persons. It settles the great question of citizenship and removes all doubt as to what persons are or are not citizens of the United States. So poor Dr. Sobhani, born at Walter Reed Army Medical Center, raised in D.C. and serving his community for years, is now told he's not a citizen. Man's in shock. He's even sought help from Democrat Virginia Senator Mark Warner and Representative Gerald Connolly. Now, this case is a perfect example how the misinterpretation, intentional as it was, of our laws can have real human consequences. Sobhani has lived here all his life believing he was an American. Now, due to the actual technicalities of the 14th Amendment and a history of political manipulation of the law, he's sitting in limbo. So in the comments down below, tell me what you think should happen with this doctor. And where's he going to go if his citizenship's revoked and he still wants to live here, but they want to deport him? Where are they going to deport him to? Iran? He never lived there. It's an interesting topic, isn't it? All right, make sure to subscribe to our channel and share our videos with like-minded friends. Stay informed, stay vigilant. Always remember to read between the lines and the lies. Thanks for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.
I remember the days, all those years ago that never fade away.